Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. Well, have you ever heard of DeepSeek? I'd never heard of DeepSeek either until this week. DeepSeek is a China-controlled company. Apparently, a hedge fund really owns it. And the bottom line is they just announced that they've got AI cheaper, better, faster than all the other AIs. And boy, did the tech stock market tumble. NVIDIA lost about $700 billion of market value. But Trump says, let's just go compete. I like the way Trump handles issues. Tulsa Gabbard, I think it's either Wednesday or Thursday, because Kennedy's the other one. Wednesday or Thursday will be before a committee to try to get her named the head of our national security. We'll see what happens. RFK Jr., his hearing is going to be about whether or not he should be the Secretary of Department of Human Resources. This is going to be interesting. How do Democrats vote for him and Republicans? Scott Bessent, billionaire from South Carolina, was approved yesterday as the Secretary of Treasury. Donald Trump signed an executive order. He wants the Iron Dome now. You know what? Obviously, we have a bigger territory. But if it works for Israel, let it work for us. And he's frozen all grants, all loans. Can you imagine what that does to so many people receiving that? Sends them into a frenzy. And military, he signed an executive order. If you got kicked out of the military because of COVID, you refuse to take the shot, you get back in with full benefits. Good for him. Jim Acosta, he's apparently going to leave CNN. He's been relegated to like the graveyard shift. So he says, I'm out of here. Don't blame you, Jim, but I can't stand you either. 8 dead hostages of the 33 being released. Is a dead hostage a hostage? Just asking. It makes me so mad when you see what Israel has to give up to get these hostages back. And once they get all the hostages back, let them have it. I'm serious. The Department of Justice has purged all the prosecutors that were working against Donald Trump. That shock anybody? They say down at the old border, the number of people trying to come in are like, and it's sad. What could have been? What could have been after the last 4 years? And exile. I think Trump watches my show. Remember I told you that I wish that we could send failed leaders like Joe Biden in exile, like they used to do in Athens, in Sparta, in Rome. You exile them. Trump says he wants to exile repeat violent criminals the way those countries send them to us. I like the plan, Mr. President. Google is now acknowledging it's now official. It's the Gulf of America. If Google does it, it's official. And the Republicans in Congress were down at Doral, where the Miami resort of Donald Trump, where Trump laid it on in a spirited speech. Let's get together and let's rock it out. We'll see what happens. Dulles or Trump? The Dulles Airport, if I remember correctly, is named after former Secretary of State John Dulles. His brother was the CIA director, Allen Dulles, helped build up the CIA. After the Bay of Pigs, good old Kennedy did not like the Dulles brothers. Canned their ass. You know what? I say in light of all that, let the airport be called Trump Airport. And dug him off. The second husband. You know, being first husband would be bad enough. To be second husband would be even worse. He's gone back to a big law firm, making at least $1 million a year to do what? Make phone calls. And inflation. The Democrats are making this big deal, like, how come inflation hasn't come down like that? It hasn't like that. But guess what? Biden dealt with it for 4 years. Give Trump a little bit, and you know what? It's going to happen. Why? Because oil's coming down. Gas will come down. And inflation will come down. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Check out my show every day. Spread the good word. And coming up next is the local news report. Here we go with local news. FC Cincinnati is going to start their project of retail and housing around. After getting $26 million from the state. When was the last time your business got $26 million from the state? I swear, corporate welfare pisses me off. Carl Lindner Jr., the third or whatever he is, and he seems like a decent guy. But come on. He's a billionaire. Why does the state of Ohio have to give him a nickel? Father Franklin Thompson, he was the father, his name's Franklin Thompson, killed his daughter Heather Thompson, who was 34. They got the video of him getting arrested and everything else. He looks like he's Rip Van Winkle at 139. Kentucky hunters killed 144,000 deer this past year, a record. I sent that to Carlo and Bernie Wessels, my hunter friends, and said how cruel and murderous all of you. And they said, well, they tasted good. Brent Spence chase. This guy right here, Joshua Baker, 38. He got out of his vehicle on Brent Spence Bridge, got underneath the bridge. You got to admire his wherewithal and his willingness to try to escape. And Fort Campbell, Kentucky, about 1,500 of them have gone down to the border to fight the battle. This is the Bulldog. Coming up next, Jamie Spindley, who unfortunately got the best of me today in chess and his world news.
Hello again, the latest world headlines. 169 passengers and crew escaped an Air Busan plane fire at Gimbi International Airport in South Korea early this morning. The fire began in the tail of the plane, but everyone evacuated safely with no injuries reported. Swedish officials has detained the ship Bezen, suspected of damaging an undersea data cable linking Sweden and Latvia. Anchored near Karlskrona, the ship is part of an investigation involving police, military, and the Coast Guard. Authorities are treating the incident as possible sabotage. In other news, heavy rainfall in Sao Paulo, Brazil caused widespread chaos, leaving cars submerged, homes without power, and residents seeking refuge in overcrowded metro stations. Some used jet skis to navigate flooded streets. The city saw a month's worth of rainfall in just a few hours. And a fire broke out at the town hall in Paris, France, 12th district, causing significant damage to a 19th century building, including its bell tower. No injuries were reported in the incident. You're up to date on the latest world headlines. I'll be back tomorrow, but stay tuned for Sports Without Boundaries. Cheerio.
All right, here we go with sports. Malachi Marino, who plays for Great Crossing in Kentucky and is headed to the University of Kentucky, made the McDonald's All-American team. Congratulations, Malachi. I love that name, Malachi. Jimmy Butler has been suspended by the Miami Heat indefinitely. He walked out of practice yesterday. He has just been terrible. University of Kentucky plays Tennessee tonight. UK is probably going to lose. They're not going to have Carr. They're not going to have Butler. They're not going to have Kerr. Sucks. And Ella De La Cruz says he is going to be on the cover of a baseball video game. Good for you, Ella. All right, coming up, pop culture. All right, pop culture, I got 3 good ones for you. Number 1, did you know that Americans, all of us in the good USA, drink more water than anybody else in the world? They claim the reason why is because of the awareness of the importance of it, the availability, so forth and so on. So keep it up, America. Keep drinking that water. And Selena Gomez, my God, drama queen, crying about, although I'm going to make an excuse for her, crying about all the stuff, the border, ICE. You know, she didn't act this way about fentanyl coming in and child trafficking like Tom Homan says. You know, it just was a little too much. Now, here's my excuse for Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez has otherwise been a good gal. In addition to that, she's young. You know, we forget that these superstars, they might be billionaires. They might have all those things, but they're still young, and they're going to make more mistakes. So I'm going to cut Selena some slack. And diamonds. They're apparently, due to they're making fake diamonds now, and the glut of diamonds, the diamond market has fallen out. So now, Jamie Spindley, is a perfect time to go buy a big carat diamond ring and put that on Anna's finger. So, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, do not be a plume-plucked, buck-washing jolthead. Have a great day. Every dog has their day. I hope today is yours.